Hi, Genki Call here. We are in Mist of Scales this week of June 3rd, 2024. We've got good stuff. We have one really good thing anyway, and that is that we are in Mist of Scales, and that means that Takshaka is available with your event keys. That is the big deal for the week. We do have a new mythic coming out on Friday, but Takshaka is the one that is really stealing the spotlight this week because Takshaka is amazing. If you do not have Takshaka yet, if you only have one copy of Takshaka, I highly recommend throwing all of your event keys and trying to get this guy because it is amazing. The spell is good. True damage to two enemies, basically, an enemy that you choose and a random enemy. Create a mix of blue and green gems, which means he can loop. The blue feeds back into himself, the green can feed into whatever you want. Skull damage reduction, but this is where it really gets good, and that is create a 3x wildcard when my turn begins, which means you can get mana for your team without doing anything except starting your turn, especially if you have more than one Takshaka on your team, as you know if you have been playing any PvP at all, because everybody and their dog is using Takshaka, and now you too can be a troll. Anyway, Takshaka is amazing. Definitely recommend throwing your event keys. In addition, we have three other mythics available here. We have Uriali, which is, in my opinion, the second best for mythics in this kingdom. True damage to all enemies with a boost. I don't really pay too much attention to the boost. When I'm building a team with Uriali, I'm doing it for the true damage to all enemies. She has no board control, but she also does poison all enemies on 4+ gem matches. She's the only troop in the game that I am aware of that will poison the entire enemy team on 4+ gem matches. And fantastic to run with Scorpius, who and Scoprio both have a chance to insta-kill any poisoned enemy, so she's really good for that. Anything that has a poison buff is going to be good to run with Uriali. Next we have Mambasira, who's going to do a range of damage to 6 random enemies. It's not a lot unless you get a magic boost on her like the Empress, or run with multiple copies of Treachery, that kind of thing. That will help, but all green allies gain 1 to all stats at the start of each turn. That can really add up, especially running with Treachery. But, she's okay. She's okay. Medusa is going to do her spell, again, not great. True damage to one enemy boosted by stone blocks. Stone blocks you're only going to see in the underworld, basically. But she also converts gems to stone blocks. This is where she gets really good. She curses and stuns a random enemy when matching 4+ gems, and she does the curse first. So if they're immune to stun, no longer immune, baby, because she's going to curse them first. And then the stun will take effect. So, mwahaha. Gotta love that. You will not be able to get the world, Mist of Scales, right, this is Mist of Scales. You will not be able to get the world, you can only get that from the vault. You will not be able to get the Dark Pits troops because you can only get those from the underworld. Next up, let's see, there's one more you will not be able to get with event keys, and that is Slitherling, because this is the journey troop. And you will only be able to get this with your gems by buying tiers in the journey event. All right, as far as notable troops here, besides the mythics, Venoxia is amazing. In my opinion, I like to run her with Queen Bee because she's going to create a bunch of gems. She can loop, she does true damage to all enemies. She has great synergy with Queen Beatrix because she's going to feed those blue gems to Beatrix. She'll keep the green ones for herself, or they'll spill over to Beatrix. And then Beatrix feeds her in return. So it's a great synergy between them. And then she poisons a random enemy on 4+ gem matches as well. Basilisk. Basilisk is actually really powerful, really, really strong if the enemy is stunned and or poisoned, especially if they're stunned and poisoned. And the stun will come into effect just from matching brown gems. So if you just have a way to poison your enemies and get that stun on board, it's going to do double damage twice, and it does true damage. So the problem is it has no board control and it only hits one enemy. But if you're limited to what you can use, this is a good option for heavy hitting. Next up, as far as notables go, Cobra can summon. It does damage to an enemy with a bit of a boost, but the most important thing is that it's a summoner. We have Merilith. We have two fantastic, fantastic mana generators here. Merilith is the first one. I love to run her with a double Tesla team. True damage to all enemies, just a tiny poke, but then she destroys a lot of the board. So it's your magic +3. Still, it's going to just do that destroy. All of those gems that she destroys are being taken off the board as if they were matched. So really, really powerful. Plus, you've got that bonus red mana from red gem matches. So I do love this troop, and great synergy with Tesla as well because Tesla uses red. Next up, we've got Taipan is notable simply because it's empowered to transform brown gems to red. And Weresnake is our glory troop for the week. It's a little weird, so it does damage to 2 enemies and poisons them. She has a 30% chance to transform into the basilisk we were just discussing. The problem is that she creates lycanthropy gems. So if you want to use this troop and you hate lycanthropy gems like I do, just don't fully trade her. Maybe just do the first one and then leave these not traded if you hate lycanthropy like me. Alright, next up, Bone Naga is notable simply because this is a summons. The spell is really nothing, the traits are really nothing, but it is a meat shield, or in this case, a bone shield, in case you need it to protect your team. If you have an open spot, she will summon the Bone Naga, Uriali, the Mythic. Lamia sucks, I hate her. I hate the charm mechanic. Charming, you're gonna do damage to your own troops, or they are gonna do damage to their own troops, but it's a mechanic I don't like. I never use it. I kill her as soon as I see her, and she's empowered. Meh. Anyway, don't like that troop. Next up, we have, let's see, Miststalker is interesting. For a low rarity troop, she does true damage to the weakest enemy and poisons them. She only hits one enemy, but still, it's true damage, and it's a bit of a poke too with your magic +3. Also gives your team bonus purple mana from purple gem matches. So, Poison Master is a really good mana generator. Not fantastic, but it's a good mana generator if you're using a lot of green. If there's a lot of green on the board, and you don't have other choices. And lastly, my fave, Bog Strider is amazing. It's an 8 mana cost, and he's going to destroy the board for only 8 mana. It's amazing. Plus, skull damage reduction makes him good to run at the front of the team. Even more so, he is going to entangle the enemies whenever he does skull damage. So, really nice to run with a skull spamming team and tons of mana. Really easy to get mana for. It's a good trip, but you probably have it already because it is a common. Ooh, tributes. Ooh, tributes. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to see if that fabled streamer luck works. And we'll see. And I'm going to spend some event keys to see if I can get another copy of Takshaka. I have 2 already, but, you know, for science. Ooh. three legendaries just off of 50 keys is fantastic. I got a copy of Medusa. Way. We'll do this twice more. You see, I got Uriali. I kind of, oh, The gambling urge is strong. Okay, I'm stopping. I'm stopping. I have plenty of event keys. I don't need a third copy of Takshaka, but okay, one more. Just one more. Just one more. Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that. Oh, I wish you all luck in getting your Takshakas. Y'all, good luck. Oh, fantastic. All right. Next up, let's see. Upcoming events for the week. Wait, before I forget. Let's see. I wanted to go in here. I will be doing for Underspire. What I'm using personally, for now at least, is Bog Strider because amazing. Wicked Scythe because it does damage to all enemies. It's just an epic weapon. But it does damage to all enemies, which will help speed things up. We're going to have plenty of mana from Bog Strider and a double Takshaka team with those wild cards. Plus, it's going to create a mix of blue and green gems. Blue feeds back into itself. Green feeds the Bog Strider, who is going to, of course, just doesn't need much to get going. So it's going to be fast. As a matter of fact, let's try it out. I haven't tried it, obviously, because this is my first battle, but this should go very quickly already. And that's why I have something with me that does damage to all enemies, because Takshaka only does damage to 2 enemies, and so it's going to be a little bit slower to cast, but having something with you that does damage to all enemies, of course, is going to speed things up. Plus, it's got a really low mana cost, which it's no, I mean 10 is not bad at all. But look, I already have mana for it again. Whee! So at the very least, this is going to be good for the early levels. But I don't feel like I need a splody weapon. Maybe later on, I'll need Wand of Stars or something if I continue with the Underspire. We'll see. But let's see. Upcoming events. So for tomorrow, the Faction Assault, this is Dark Pits. For Wednesday, we have the Snakelet Pet Rescue. And Thursday, we have Assassin Class Trial. I really like the Assassin Class personally. That's the wrong button. Let's go over Assassin in a second. I forgot to mention, I have been sick for 9 days. I did not think that I was going to be able to do a video today. I woke up feeling really bad, but I've got a reprieve. I feel okay right now. So anyway, I already did my Spoils of War. If you go into resources, right here there will be a button that says Spoils of War where you can get up to 10 event keys with your glory. Fantastic deal. I recommend doing it every week so that you can at least save up your keys for times like now when we've got something amazing in the drop table for event keys. Then under weekly event we have the Were Snake. I already went over this, but I recommend every week getting the glory troop up to mythic level. It'll say right here, it'll say legendary, mythic. Get this up to mythic level every week if you can, because it's a guaranteed level 20 troop for when you need it for your power levels. We're going to go back now. I actually remembered. I'm ADD and I forget things, but squirrel! Assassin class. So, here's what I love about Assassin class. First of all, the third trait, 10% chance to assassinate the last enemy when I deal skull damage. Great. We've got venomous, poison enemies when doing skull damage. That's pretty nice. But this 10% chance to assassinate is very cool. And then we have another chance to assassinate with Rising Shadows here. Rising Shadow. Okay, 7% chance to assassinate the last enemy when another enemy dies. You could take out the whole, you can take out the whole enemy team with just assassinations. It's very, very nice. You can death mark if you want, or you can dodge skull damage. You can be stealthy. You can have a dark storm or an ice storm. So blue or purple. I really like this class for purple or blue. They're both good. Plus, you've got Soul Collar if you're trying to get souls, or you can go for extra gold, or you can do the summons. It's all great. Plus the Hunter's Mark, very nice. So recommend doing that class trial if you don't have this maxed out yet. Then we have this weekend. We have Affection Assault at Fell Roost. We have an expansion to the faction. So you're going to be able to get another troop for here. I haven't actually looked at it. Last of all, we have Mythic Friday, and let me get this pulled up for you folks. This will take me just a second. Pause. All right, so here's what we have. This is Bieska. Bieska is going to do splash damage to 3 random enemies boosted by enraged allies. It's just a ×2. You can get, an extra 8 splash damage to each splash if your entire team is enraged. Then we have, for traits, all enemies lose 2 random skill points, reflect 25% of skull damage, and inflict bleed and terror on a random enemy when matching 4+ gems. This troop does not, in my opinion, look mythic worthy. This looks more like a really good legendary, maybe? I don't know. I mean, we have other troops with the splash damage, like Aquarius and Aquaria. The splash damage, Ketris, I mean, different troops that do splash damage. But the problem with splash damage is it's going to hit a max of 3 troops. And if they are not touching, if they are not right up against each other, if there's a gap between the troops, it'll only hit things that are touching. So if there's a gap, it's only going to hit 1 troop. However, he does cast 3 times. So, he doesn't look good just looking at the description, but, once I actually use them, sometimes I realize, this is better than I thought. But we'll see. We'll see once Friday comes. The terror could be very good. Terror is a lot more powerful than I thought it was, and can take effect on the first turn, unlike Deathmark, for instance, which has to take effect on the second turn. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it won't be as bad as I think, but maybe just think about not using your event keys until you hear what the community has to say about this troop if you're running low on resources. For me, I have to have all the things. I have plenty of resources, and I've also got where's my glory? Where's my glory? What? Really? This doesn't show the glory on the main page anymore. I have a lot of glory. I've got over 1 million glory. So anyway, that is going to be it for Monday's Mist of Scales weekly events video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out the video on Mythic Friday that's popped up on the screen right now before you use your keys on Friday. Very important information in there. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you may be, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye!